Greetings and welcome to the US Nuclear Corp conference. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, CEO and Chairman Robert Goldstein. Thank you, Mr. Goldstein. You may begin.
Thank you. So it's great to be here and talking with you good folks. I want to tell you about US Nuclear Corp. We're doing some exciting things. So but I want to give you a little background on the company first. We're a spin-off from the Manhattan Project, where they were making designing and exploding the nuclear bombs, and so they needed equipment to protect the researchers from frying themselves with the radiation, and they developed a great suite of instrumentation. And when the project was over, we formed Technical Associates, and later US Nuclear Corp, and so now we're making products that were daughters and granddaughters of those original products. One second. So we have a corporate structure. The US Nuclear Corp is technically a holding company. We have 3 subsidiaries: Technical Associates, Optron Scientific, Overhoff Technology, and Electronic Control Concepts. All 3 were originally just radiation measurement companies. Now we're also doing chemical and biological sensors as well. We have some partners that we're partnering with also. These are, I say partners, we're minority shareholders in MIFTech and Graviton. I'll talk to you about those 2 fine companies in a couple minutes. This is a picture of one of our drones flying above one of the silos for the nuclear fleet that's protecting the U.S. from foreign attack. And we have a hope to do a lot more business on those 400 missile silos. I want to talk about drones. We're the only company that's flying radiation and chemical and biological sensors on our drones. And only, I think there's 1 or 2 other companies that do strictly radiation sensors. We were the first in the business, and so it's a huge business. As you know, use of drones is skyrocketing, and we don't yet see drones overhead every second, but unfortunately those times are probably coming. But so it's not just for tourists, it's not just for peeping toms. These drones are super important for the military, oil and gas refining, police, and the ones that we're flying are heavy duty, strong lifting drones that can carry our scientific package and report in real time back what they're seeing to see if it's clean, if it's safe, if it's leaking, see what's going on. We've recently added to our fleet an underwater drone, if you will, or a yellow submarine, whatever you want to call it. We call it Dive Rad because it dives into the water. You may know that our coastal areas are in bad shape. They're polluted. The fishermen can't get a good catch. The shore animals and the sea otters, they're all having trouble. And our seaports are, they get gooey with oil from released fuel. So we have our Dive Rad here that can go down and look at what's the condition underwater. You could have divers do it, but that's much more expensive. And also with their fins, they muck up, they change the flow. So they're trying to measure a sample, but they're also ruining the sample environment. So submarine's a lot more fun. So what's important to us? Important is that we stay ahead of the competition. We have very innovative products with the drones, with the with our medical applications. We make equipment that other people have tried to make but failed because we have, I guess, better designers and maybe better craftsmanship too. We're working hard to expand through inside, bringing out new products, but also expand through M&A acquisitions. I want to tell you a little bit about China. We have an office in Beijing, and we are suppliers. I personally know some important people at the top of CNNC, which owns 60% of the radiation industry in China. They're building 200 new plants, are promised in the next 10 years. 25 are under construction right now. Each plant that gets sold potentially is a $10 million for us because of our radiation measurement equipment. So we just bought, US Nuclear bought 40% of Graviton. It's a startup. They're in the same business as Elon Musk's Neuralink, slightly different products. But they have patents. Graviton has patents, puts them the only one in the world that have biocompatible electrodes that can go and talk to the neurons inside your skull. But they can also hook up with, if you need a smart prosthesis, if you've lost a limb in battle or just lost or just in ordinary life, these smart prostheses need to hear what the nerves are saying, and these electrodes can pick it up. They're made out of carbon, so they don't rust like everybody else has metal electrodes, which rusts, and also all the implanted items, they have batteries in them that have to go into surgery again every 3 years to replace the darn battery. And if you don't do that, then it can, what batteries are like when they get too old, they ruin the environment inside the brain or inside the body. All our stuff is, as I said, compatible, but we don't need batteries because Graviton's patent for a supercapacitor that stores electricity from the brain itself and then uses that to talk back and forth over the brain. Also, the Graviton not only measures the electrical situation in the brain, but they also see which chemicals are in there. And you know yourself, adrenaline in the brain, it's going to make everything different than other materials. So, okay, so we also are a minority interest in MIFTech and MIFT. They're the leaders, not one of the leaders. They are the leader in fusion. Fusion for two purposes. One is eventually to make electric power for the electric power grid with no radiation proliferation and no just totally green system. This is a prototype here. This is a 1 megaamp system. We're working on a 10 megamp system, which we believe will be able to do that nuclear power goal. But in between, we're going to be making the medical isotopes. There's a huge shortage of medical isotopes in the U.S., and you may not be aware that medical isotopes are of interest. But when you go to the doctor in the U.S., we're all pleased to be in the U.S. because the medicine's better here. Even the rich dictators around the world, they come here to get cured because our doctors are better. But how are they better? How do they do that? A lot of it's skill, a lot of it's good education, a lot of it is those diagnostic scans that tell them what's going on inside your body. If you can't do a good diagnosis, then you just can't get a good therapy. So, and some of the best scans are done with the nuclear medicine isotopes. Unfortunately, these isotopes have to be brought in from Australia, from Russia, from South America, from Europe. There was one plant in Canada. It's gone out of business. So, and these are all so-called short half-life materials that if after 2 or 3 days, it's gone. So there's a current usage worldwide is about $10 billion worth, but the demand is $17 billion and increasing all the time. All these facilities in these foreign countries, they're working 24/7 to try to produce it. They're maxed out. So our technology, or MIFTech's technology, will be replacing some of these and of course supplementing them as well. So here's a picture of a Tokamak. You may know there's a big Tokamak going up in France, but some interesting facts. You can make a fission reactor if you want to do that for medical isotopes. They start at $500 million or more to build. Accelerator, you could potentially build one for $150 million, maybe. Our unit is scheduled to come out at $10 million each. They're modular, so you can put them even on the hospital grounds, or even put them in the nuclear Navy ships. Here's a little comparison chart: MIFTech versus North Star, Shine, and Curium, 3 different companies that we're competing with in our race to perfect nuclear fusion. I'm sorry, to bring out isotopes. But we're the only ones that are going to be using fusion. These other folks are using highly enriched uranium now, and they're supposed to be switching to low enriched uranium. I don't know if you've heard of that, but the reason that we're angry with Iran is because they're making high enriched uranium to make nuclear bombs. So you can imagine that the world would be better off if these private companies didn't have to have nuclear bomb making material as part of their construction process to make medical isotopes. So as I was saying before, we feel we have an edge in the technology. We're doing measurements that other people can't do, and we're making systems that are extra smart systems that can do the jobs that you want. We've got good leadership, innovation, and we've been doing this for quite a while. It was a family business, but now it's a public company, and I think it's going to do well. So we're client focused. We sell to nuclear power plants, to the national laboratories, government entities, military, first responders, manufacturing, oil and gas plants, and medical. We're getting bigger into medical. I want to go back to the national labs for just a minute. The national labs have the smartest scientists in the country, and I say the smartest scientists in the world, and we're just so proud that they choose to use US nuclear products when they have other products to choose from. So growth strategies, as mentioned before, we're doing new product development, organic growth. We have recurring revenue streams, replacing the filters, and with subscribing to our software and upgrading our equipment as well. We're small enough so we're willing to do custom design for important clients, and it takes a little more time, but it's quite profitable, and it's an important part of our business. M&A, we're studying a group of other companies, and we're on the warpath or whatever to to get some other companies. So I don't know if on this pie chart whether the size of the blocks represents the size of the business, but the drone's on the top, so everything's okay. So in M&A, we're looking for military and medical applications. We want to find good companies in that field. Sensor detection is very important to us. That's sort of our main item. We make the sensors, provide the sensors. Nowadays, electronics is, AI and the software is so advanced, but you can't do anything with your AI unless you have good data. So with our sensors, we can get the data that everybody needs to make their systems work. We're also very strong on water treatment, water purity, air monitors, and the safety of the water that you drink and the air that you breathe. So we're addressing the current markets, brainstorming new ideas, placing funds towards aggressive M&A, integrating the companies that we acquire, engineering, sales, design, and refining the business structure. So we're making, 1 and 1 and 1 can make 10 sometimes. The projections, we think, as I said, through organic growth and through M&A, we're going to be doing well in the next few years. So this slide points out that we're holding companies. So you can talk about acquisitions horizontal and vertical. Vertical is us buying other manufacturing companies that can help us with our production and our marketing and just get the best product out there. Horizontal is when we acquire companies that have a chemical or biological sensors or make drones and can help us with our product mix so that we can be that one-stop shopping place that we want to be. Here's some of our customers. We sell to many government agencies, including NASA, Homeland Security, the Air Force, the Army, Secret Service. We also sell to Shine. You might have seen them. They're one of the potential competitors to make medical isotopes, and so, but we're helping them with their sensors, so why not? So the cautionary note, the forward-looking statements made here may be optimistic, as you know. So maybe there's, if there's any questions, I'd be glad to address them. Any questions? Okay. All right. No questions. It was great to talk with everybody, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.